Hi YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, please subscribe, please leave a comment. Y'all see how I'm getting better with my intros. I'm a real YouTuber out in these streets. It's Ashley, or Nursing with Ashley, and I just want to first say thank you guys for all the positive feedback I got on my last video about why I left bedside nursing. It was so many good conversations, so many people in the comments, whether they were in nursing school, had 23, 25 years of experience. We all were together just talking and just really just sharing love and pouring into each other, which is really what I wanted to happen from just expressing how I felt in my honest experience, or just telling my truth is what I'm trying to say. Just telling my truth. And I'm just so happy it led to so many good conversations. And I can just tell that people that landed on my video were meant to see my video. Whatever you believe in, I really do believe that it was divine intervention for us to connect, for us to watch this video, for me to share my experience, because it was so therapeutic for me as well, just to talk and be heard. And it really just showed to me that it's a consistent problem with nursing and that we need more support. And it's the whole system, not just nursing in itself, the whole healthcare system in general. It needs overhaul. We need more policies and laws that protect nurses in our license. And I'm not just talking about just surface level things, staffing ratios. I'm talking about the abuse that we experience at the bedside, sometimes physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse from patients and different healthcare professionals. So again, I just want to say thank you all for just your open and honesty and watching the video. So this video, it's been a while, but I'm like, it's a conversation that's needed. And no, it's not going to be perfect how I film it or how I record it or how I say it, because sometimes I get in my head, but I'm like, it just needs to get done today. So that's where we're at. So this video is really just a part 2, and I just want to open it up with, guys, just leave me comments or questions or any other questions you have about me, my nursing career, my experience, and I'm happy to answer it. But really, this is a part 2 that I'm going to read some of your comments, answer some of the most requested questions, I guess, or questions that you guys asked me. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I need to look up the questions on my laptop. So let's see here. So the first question is from Blessed Diva 1624, and if my editing skills is on point, you guys will also see a screenshot of this comment. And she says, can you please make a video of what you do now and how you got into it? What are your experiences? My laptop just shut off. What are your experiences you need for the job? I'm new coming into nursing from bank management. I left it because of anxiety attacks I was getting. Wow. I am coming into the health field because it's more diverse, but I don't want to do bedside nursing. Do you have any suggestions for me? I'm told that I have to have my RN first, then specialize into something. So I did leave a comment that kind of went into more details about, you know, the difference between like an RN, LPN, and a BSN, and that it is right. You do need your RN if you're trying to work as a nurse, and at least in the US, you do need an RN, LPN, or a BSN to work as a nurse in the US. But girl, I feel you when you, okay, so to answer your first question, well, I'm so sorry you experienced that in banking management. And I feel like the job market overall is just horrible right now. Our employees are not being treated with respect all across the board. And your comment really highlighted that. So I'm just really trying to send you positive energy, positive vibes on your personal journey at your current job. So I wanted to say that first. It says, can you please make a video of what you do now and how you got into it? So currently, so let me backtrack. So I left bedside nursing. Like I told you guys, in 2020, well, technically 2021, right in the midst of COVID. So I started working at a clinic. So I worked for a big hospital organization. So they have different hospitals across the city. They have clinics, they have outpatient therapy. It's just like a big hospital organization in my area. So I really transferred from one of their big hospitals that was on a certain part of town, not downtown. I was going to say downtown, but it's really not downtown. And I transferred to a clinic that was downtown, that was serving under or inner city populations, if you just want to be frank, people of color. It was right in the heart of downtown. So I really enjoyed the patient population. I worked at an internal medicine clinic. So that was February 2021. I worked at an internal medicine clinic for a very, very great medical director. He was Black. My nurse leads were Black. So my nurse lead was Black. My manager was Black. Most of the medical assistants I worked with was Black. And like I said, the front staff was super diverse. So I loved the patient population. I loved how diverse it was. But at a clinic, and this might be a setting for you, and as I tell my story, you guys are going to see that my journey in nursing has never been linear. It's always been ups and valleys, and just really trying to figure out what does Ashley like in nursing and what can I do. And that's one big tip that I would give anybody that's trying to get into nursing and that's getting discouraged or saying that I'm in my clinicals right now and I just know bedside isn't for me. With that nursing degree, it's so versatile. You can literally get into anything when you become a nurse, literally anything. And we can talk more about that. But anyway, I was at the clinic and I was like, this just isn't for me. It was a lot of triaging. It was a lot of just like, again, it's just that cycle I kept seeing. Like doctors, primary care doctors, oh my goodness, bless their hearts. They only have like 15 minutes for a patient. They have to treat, diagnose, assess all in that 15 minutes. The nurses are everywhere you go, but the nurses are overworked, the MAs are overworked because it's just back to back to patients. And I do feel like in some areas we were doing preventative work, like we were working on a hypertensive program for people that weren't quite yet diagnosed with hypertension, or they were, but we were trying to make a support group for them with a shelf and things like that. But because we're so inundated with our daily work, it was hard to focus on that, just like trying to just keep up with the patient population and the influx of disease and people getting admitted, people getting discharged, follow-up visits, ER visits. Like it was just a lot. And then again, that company, and if you guys want a story time on that, the company did me so wrong. And so I even talked to the director of HR at that company because they, again, did me so wrong. So I went to work in July of 2022 as a nurse case manager for what's called a managed care organization. So basically older adults and seniors who have Medicaid benefits. You're qualified to have a nurse case manager or a case manager or social worker help you advocate for you, help you decipher your benefits, and basically keep you living in the community as long as possible. But again, the same thing, like I think at that company, it used to be that nurses only had like 50 cases assigned to them. So these patients are yours. But when I left, I was at 100. So again, overworked, and I just feel like the quality of work at that point, I really wasn't managing anything. I was just in a repeated cycle, just trying to keep my head over water and not really preventing diseases. And then working for Medicaid, that financial aspects, I felt like I could have, because they were looking at the money so much, that I really couldn't do my best work with the patients, because it's always like the dollar bill first. So for an example, if a patient, so to keep this patient living at home as long as possible, he or she as long as possible, say they're in a wheelchair and blind and deaf. So to keep them at home as long as possible, living in their preferred environment, this person needed a certain type of wheelchair. But insurance says, well, that they could get that, and their doctor agrees they should get the specialized wheelchair. The PT agrees they medically are qualified for the specialized wheelchair, but the insurance, Medicaid, or I don't really know the logistics of it, but they'll come in and say, well, they could get that specialized chair, but there's a chair that's $100 cheaper that doesn't have all the bells and whistles that they really do need to thrive. Let's give them that chair because it's just cheaper. And then seeing the patients and the caregivers, if they have a caregiver to advocate for them. Sometimes we're working with people that just had legal guardians, and them themselves, they're just assigned cases, and they don't really have that personalized touch. But if they did have a caregiver that can advocate for them, the caregiver had to go through an appeal process, which I just thought was completely unfair. Like, if this person medically qualifies for a certain type of equipment, a certain type of service, I just the whole system, to me, I was just like, okay, I just really can't do that. A roundabout way saying that I just felt like, okay, what am I doing? Why do I have my nursing degree? I just feel like I'm just jumping from one thing to one thing. I'm not really finding my footing in anything. I don't really feel happy. I know that I want to help people. I love to help people. I love my older adults and seniors, but I just don't feel happy. And then I thought back to when I was in nursing school, how I just loved the community health rotation. So I applied to a local health department. So it's a local health department at the county level. And I work there now, and I completely love it. We represent about 70,000 residents. It's right outside the major city. So we represent pretty much the suburbs right outside the major city. But it's so diverse because some suburbs are super affluent and they have a lot of resources, and then we have some suburbs that's considered suburbs because they're right outside the city, but they really don't have the resources, and they're just the folks that we just know we need to support a little bit more. So like I was saying, I'm just so satisfied with what I'm doing currently right now. I'm so engaged in the work. So a roundabout way to answer your question, I'm a public health nurse right now, a public health generalist. And again, if you guys want me to go into more detail with that, maybe in the next few questions someone will ask, and I can definitely go into that. To answer your second question, what experience you need for the particular types of, I guess, where I have gone since Bedside, I would just say it just all depends, honestly. Once you get I think right now, not to overwhelm yourself, because there's so much that you can do with nursing. You can be a nurse influence. You can be a nurse in aesthetics. You can be an OR nurse. You can be a nurse in informatics and research. You can be a nurse that works at jails. You can be a nurse that works at a clinic. You can be a nurse that works at an assisted living facility. It's so many possibilities with nursing. Just, you can be a nurse, a legal nurse, that when something happens and you go and give your expert testimony, you can work with law and policy as a nurse. There's so many things that you can do as a nurse. You can be a call center nurse. You can be a behavioral health nurse. Like, there's literally a school nurse. There's literally, I can keep going on and on. A hospice nurse, a home health nurse. Like, I can just keep going on for days with, different things. You can be a nurse that works on movie sets. Like, there's literally, if you think it literally is a nursing job that can go with that. So my advice to you, because it sounds like you're on the cusp of leaving, it looks like business management or banking management, and you're on the cusp of starting your nursing career and looking more into it. So my advice would be to you is to research a good program that's affordable and that it's that meets your state's whatever regulations, certifications that it needs to be a accredited nursing program, whether that's an LPN program, whether that's a BSN program, an RN program, whatever it is. Do that first, and then once you get into that program, once you get into the clinicals, you're going to do the school work or book work first. But once you start getting into the clinical rotations, and you start learning about community health, you start learning about med surg and all that jazz, really trying to get your hands hands-on experience as much as possible with all those different rotations. Watch YouTube videos and just look up different specialties in nursing. Day in the life of a nurse, a OR nurse, day in the life of a nurse, a pediatric nurse. So whatever your interest is, I would say see if you can find a job or a part-time job or a shadowing experience, like for a pediatric clinic. Say, hey, reach out to them or apply and see if you can work as a receptionist, or if your state doesn't require medical assistants to do any training, see if you can get a part-time job as a medical assistant at a pediatric clinic, and just see if the workflow, the responsibilities of that type of nurse is something that you're interested in. But like I said, it's just so many opportunities and opportunities with that nursing degree once you get it. There's dialysis nursing. There's so much stuff. So I would just advise to first do your research on the school, and then I would start looking up YouTube videos, looking up different specialties in nursing, and just to see what you're interested in, or if you do have an interest right now. Like if you're like, I really love older adults, I would start looking into different avenues that involve older adults. So nursing homes, assisted living, it's just so much. So let me know if I did not answer all of your questions. I think I got it all in a roundabout way. And then I did leave a comment for you. So if you want to go back and look at that, and I had some more details for you. Let's see. Okay, the next question. Oh, wait, no. Okay. Okay, so I answered that question. Never mind. I think I just wanted to read this comment. It says, Kiera Selena, what is up with nursing for real? I recently heard a theory that states, and I'm paraphrasing here, all the people who were school bullies somehow end up being nurses. I think she has a point, okay? And the more I hear these stories, the more I believe it. This stuff is absolutely insane, that the nurse with the blood transfusion was straight up petty. I'm sorry you even encounter a nurse like that, and some people don't or shouldn't be in the field, and that is so sad, because nurses like that are pushing away the nurses who actually love it. Been an LPN for 5 years, going for my LPN, and then bedside will never see my face again. I know that's right, Kiara. And again, just like I told Blessed Diva, I am sending you nothing but positivity on your journey. It doesn't sound like you need it. It sounds like you have your experience, you know about the field. You LPNs are so underrated, I feel like, in the work that you guys do. Honestly, I don't think you guys get as much respect as you guys deserve, including CNAs, including medical assistants, patient techs, up to the front desk staff. I don't think you guys get the respect that you guys deserve. But that's just my little opinion. And yeah, good luck in school and getting your RN degree. And I couldn't agree more with what you said. Okay, so this is from JoJo. She said, I quit 6 months in, got a soft girl nursing job, then went back to bedside, ER. Because even soft girl jobs, when an emergency hits, you don't do the right thing, you're still liable. Be careful with your nursing license, guys. Nursing never was and will never be easy. But I would like to hear from you guys, what soft nursing jobs do you do? Do you leave the field? Put me on. Edit. To piggyback off you, I was also a CNA in a PCA. Yes, the stress from being now a leader is very tough. I used to just do my job and go home and tell the nurse everything so she can figure it out. Girl, didn't we all? That was such a good feeling that I feel like I did not take advantage of. Just be like, here you go, nurse. This is your patient. At the end of the day, that's your license. But anyway, now I have to be the one to prioritize, and it takes time. Everyone, sorry. I have like an automatic thing where my laptop shuts off. It says, and it takes time. Everyone will bully you. I really hope you give it a second chance. I'm going to watch to see if you have any updates. What are you doing now? So I kind of answered that question in the beginning. I'm a public health nurse, and I love it. If you guys want me to go into more detail about what a public health nurse generalist does, I can definitely do that, and maybe that'll be the next video. But again, leave comments below on what you want to see next. But she said, I hope I give it a second chance. Girl, I am hoping that I never have to give it a second chance. And I hate to say never, because life happens. Like, if something happens, and that's why I'm so blessed to be a nurse, because if something happens, I know that I can find a job at the bedside and get it cracking and pay whatever bills I have to pay, get back on my feet. I know that's always an option, but me personally, like I've been saying, even from nursing school, I just knew bedside nursing wasn't for me. And if you're not in that category, like, you probably won't understand, but some of y'all, as many comments have seen, have said that y'all completely understand what I'm saying, that it's just something like morally, ethically, I just don't jive with bedside nursing. Like, at the core of my heart, I just don't jive with it. And you're completely right. This whole TikTok trend, I'm saying, like, girl, travel, trying to make it seem like travel nursing is like a soft girl job, or I just work 12 weeks and then I have 3 months off, which is nice. Kudos to you. Like, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that the nursing, with travel nursing, you have more independence, you have more autonomy to be like, okay, I'm at my mental health capacity for this period of time in my life, this season, and I'm about to take off a few months. I love that. And you're being financially paid or financially stable enough to do that. I love that. But for the TikTok to make it seem like it's so easy, that it's just a breeze, that it's a soft girl nursing job, I don't know if soft job and nursing can ever go together. And here's my thought on that. When it comes to, oh, okay, sorry about that, I got a call. So I was saying, I don't think nursing and soft girl job can ever be in the same sentence, and this is just my opinion, and how TikTok has tried to romanticize travel nursing. For an example, like, those women and men put in hard work. Like, first of all, to get a travel assignment, most of the time you have to come with experience. I know during COVID, because it was such a big shortage and it was COVID, so they were taking new grad nurses, but that's not the case. I feel like nowadays, and the travel nurses can correct me, you at least need 2 or 3 years of experience. And plus, if you want to travel, you have to know, and this is coming from travel nurses that I've talked to personally, you're walking into the worst of the worst situation. So you're walking into the worst of the worst. They're going to assign you the unit that's the most understaffed, the most complex patient, the hardest patient loads, the most complex. So when you're a travel nurse, you have to be able to go on that unit and know what you're doing and confident in your nursing skills. And there's going to be variations, because at different states, different hospitals, they do different things a little bit differently, but you have to have that foundational knowledge as a nurse. So that's why I say, and that's what any nursing job per se, is that as a nurse, you're using your critical thinking skills, your critical reasoning skills. And even if you have like nursing informatics, I know that's like, a different type of nursing, and a lot of times they can work from home and you're reviewing charts, but it's a lot of clinical thinking skills, like making judgment calls, you know what I mean? That I just think that nursing and soft girl job can never really coincide. But can you find a nursing job that's flexible, that respects life work balance, that your managers are not toxic, a job or job responsibilities that you're engaged in, that you love, that you feel like you're passionate about? Absolutely. And does that qualify as a soft girl job? To me, it doesn't. It just means that you found what your calling was within nursing, if that makes sense. So what I do now, I answered that. Thank you so much, JoJo, for leaving your comment. And kudos to you. You said you left and then you went back and you're like, I gave it a second chance and now you feel better. And that's a good point too, that I think that's not highlighted enough. Maybe it was just that combines with me not being inexperienced, me being kind of insecure about my skills as a nurse, because I was a new grad, on top of the bullying, on top of the culture, and just on top of not feeling fulfilled with the work. Maybe that was a part of it too. And maybe if you know, that's good advice for someone. Maybe that if they want to try, or that's good advice for someone if they want to try to step away from it, do something else, and then come back to nursing. That's a really good point that you made there. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, so this was from Peaceful Freedom 4930. Young lady, I want to thank you for making this video. Oh, thank you so much. Like, these comments fill my heart up. Like, honestly, like, y'all just don't know. Like, yesterday I got into a car accident, so this video is just super therapeutic for me, and it's really helping me to get through some personal things that I'm going through right now. So thank you so much, Peace Freedom 4930, for your comment. She also said, I experienced all of this and more. It caused me a lot of trauma and loss. Yes, PTSD from nursing is so real. I am seeing more and more nurses coming out to expose this culture. It's good because it lets nurses know this is about them. And this is about them. It's the system. We need to spend some time and energy figuring out what we need to do to create a system that works for us and supports us. The hospitals cannot work without us. I know that's right. Individually, we are weak. Together, nurses can demand changes. Girl, I don't mean to call you girl. That's disrespectful if you're an older woman, but that's just how I talk. But ma'am, you hit so many points there, and I love it. And it's about unity. And the nurses that feel, and maybe they don't see, so maybe they're just not aware, or they haven't did the work on themselves yet to realize how detrimental they're being by being bullies, by making a toxic work environment. But for all of us are struggling, and like you said, it's the system. It's not really an individual nurse, or it's not really, I just don't like, and I put it that way, that I don't like bedside nursing, but it's the system. Like, if we all as a community of nurses could get on this one video and we all have the same experience, it's a system. It's systematically not benefiting nurses, especially nurses of color. And then somebody else made a good point, especially nurses that got their degrees internationally and then they come to the U.S. and work. Man, I can only imagine the barriers that you guys face, the prejudice behavior that you guys encounter. And I just want to say my heart pours out to you guys, and you're so right that we need to get together as nurses, demand change, and make this a better profession, because in 10-20 years, if it continues like this, and it's always been a cycle, I learned that it's always been like a cycle of nursing shortages. Like, I think in like the 80s or 90s, it was like a nursing shortage, and it was always a cycle. So it's something that needs to happen, something that needs to be that needs to change. And don't quote me on those dates that I just said, but let me see if there's any other questions. Again, guys, leave me video ideas, comments below if you guys want me to go into more details about what a public health nurse does, because I'm super passionate about the work that I do. And no, it's not perfect. There's a lot of days I come home exhausted mentally. It's not a physically demanding job. I don't do direct patient care, but mentally it can be exhausting. I just want to highlight that other people had different experiences than me. So Brittany Mac 802 said, me too, nurse case manager for almost a year, immediately want to go back to the floor. I just wish my bedside experience had been better. My dream was an MP, which is so true. I feel like there would be more nurses at the bedside if the environment was just better, because most of the times it's not the work, it's not the skills. If you just think about it, like inserting a catheter, IV, like those type of skills that nurses do on the floor, once you get it down, once you know those skills, you're confident in them and you're doing them safely, those are not the problem. It's the environment that usually is the problem. The culture, the expectations, being understaffed as an expectation is just not cool at all. I think I got all of the questions. Again, if you guys have more questions, leave them down below, and I promise it won't be 10, 11 months before I answer those questions. And I said I really quickly that I would just go over what a public health nurse generalist does. So public health, basically, instead of taking care of the patient, you're taking care of a whole community. So my scope, my lens is just not narrowed in on an individual. It's a whole community. So how can I keep this whole community safe? So that's surveilling diseases, preventing chronic conditions. That's a big effort that we do is around vaccinations and making sure everybody's vaccinated. You know, media, having a presence on media, because that's how a lot of people are connecting with their information. So just spreading health education online, different things like that. So my day looks very, very different. And like I said, I work at a small health department. It's about 11 employees there. So it's kind of like all hands on deck, which I really do love because I'm learning so much and I'm touching so many different things. So one day I can be doing a community event about, for an example, going to a community event, offering education on vaccines, on Narcan. Well, I really don't do the Narcan, but like STD information. And then later that day, we have a vaccine appointment. And then later that day, I have a meeting, a planning meeting to talk about how can we reduce parent isolation in our community. Oh, let's do community social groups for parents. And we're hosting these events. Like, it's so much. Like, we did a water safety event. Maybe I'll insert some clips on just that whole dynamic. I don't even think I can because I work for the government and they have a strict social media policy. So scratch that. I'm not going to insert any clips, but we did a water safety event. Like, there was a few drownings in our area of young kiddos drowning at our county lake fronts. So we did an initiative where we did an event for families where you can come get in the water and we give you education on water safety, how to be safe at a pool, at the house, at the hotel. So I really do love the work that I'm doing right now. And again, nothing is perfect, and I don't want to get on this camera and say leave Bedside and then your next career path is going to be perfect, because that's not the case. As you guys can see, I've tried many things before I landed on public health, but right now I'm engaged in the work and I'm like, okay, this is really what I want to do. I'm community facing. I'm helping prevent diseases. I'm helping the folks that need the help. If you guys want me to go into more details on the day-to-day life, how I got that job, let me know. I'm happy to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Again, leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys want to see next, what you guys want me to go into detail about next. I got a few ideas, but I would love to hear from you guys. Keep sharing, keep liking, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.